distributed among Vocaligas and Lingayats, the two major castes. But today the Supreme Court effectively put a stay on the quota till the 9th of May, which is the next date of hearing. The BJP has made this Muslim quota a big election issue, a big talking point on the campaign trail by saying that this is evidence that the Congress and the rest of the opposition only care for Muslims, and it's only the BJP that can and gives quotas to Hindus. The Congress has hit back saying that the scrapping of the Muslim quota is unconstitutional. Home Minister Amit Shah on the campaign trail rebutting that by saying that reservation merely based on religion was something that was abhorrent even to the founding fathers of our constitution. So which way is this story going to play out in the electoral battlefield of Karnataka?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी तो एक गैर संवैधानिक मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन को हम समाप्त कर देंगे।
देखिए, मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन गैर संवैधानिक है। कांग्रेस पार्टी ने तुष्टीकरण के लिए मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन रखा था। हमने मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन को हटाकर वोकलिगा, लिंगायत, एससी, एसटी और ओबीसी समाज के रिजर्वेशन को बढ़ाया है।
BJP government is not serious. They know that they will completely fail in it. They have bungled the issue. Day one I have been telling that you are not doing as per the law.
All right, first let's break down what happened in the Supreme Court today over this 4% quota for Muslims in Karnataka. Now, the Bombay government said that no action has been taken so far over the decision to scrap the Muslim quota. The state government also added that they have decided to take no action until the hearing is concluded and the court comes to some kind of a judgment. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who is appearing on behalf of the Karnataka government, said that they will file their response soon. Then the Supreme Court ordered to maintain status quo till the next hearing. The matter will be listed again on the 9th of May. That is just one day before Karnataka goes to polls. Now, let's take a look at the existing reservation system in Karnataka and why that was changed by the Bombay government. According to the current scheme of things, backward classes are getting 4% reservation, which will stay post these changes. Similar is the situation with OBCs. Right now, they get 15% reservation under Category 2A. That will stay the same. Muslims were getting 4% reservation under Category 2B, which the Karnataka government had decided to scrap. Out of that 4%, Vocaligas will be given 2%, which means they were currently getting 4% reservation under 2C. That will now go up from 4% to 6% because of the 2% additional quota that's come from the Muslim quota. And under Category 2D, Lingayats were getting 5% reservation. That will be increased from 5% to 7%. Like I said, the extra 2% quota has been added from the Muslim quota. Scheduled castes, 15% reservation was hiked by the government to 17% last year, while scheduled tribe 3% reservation was increased to 7%. The bill passed to hike SC/ST quota is also under challenge because it breaches the 50% cap in the state reservation ambit. 10% quota for economically weaker sections will remain, which is over and above the 50% cap on quota, and Muslims have now been included in this EWS category instead. So the total quotas in Karnataka earlier were about 60%, and post these changes, it will now increase to 66%. Meanwhile, speaking exclusively to CNN News 18's Harish Upadhyay, Home Minister Amit Shah called the Muslim quota that was introduced by the Congress government, the previous government, as unconstitutional, and the BJP government of having taken away something that is unconstitutional.
सिद्धरामैया जी एक तरफ कहते हैं कि हम वापस आएंगे तो मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशंस देंगे, दूसरी तरफ कुछ विवादात्मक स्टेटमेंट्स देते हैं लिंगायत कम्युनिटी के बारे में। आपके राय में ये इलेक्शंस पर कैसा असर पड़ेगा सर?
देखिए, मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन गैर संवैधानिक है। कांग्रेस पार्टी ने तुष्टीकरण के लिए मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन रखा था। हमने मुस्लिम रिजर्वेशन को हटाकर वोकलिगा, लिंगायत, एससी, एसटी और ओबीसी समाज के रिजर्वेशन को बढ़ाया है। मैं मानता हूं कि कोई भी पार्टी गैर संवैधानिक काम नहीं कर सकती है। वोट बैंक की राजनीति के लिए कांग्रेस ने किया है। निश्चित रूप से कर्नाटक की जनता मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन सरकार बनाने जा रही है।
Okay, let me open this up to our panelists. Prashant GS is Karnataka BJP spokesperson, Aishwarya Mahadev, Congress spokesperson, Syed Aslam is JDS spokesperson, and Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist, also joining us. Prashant, the Home Minister there saying that Muslim quota was unconstitutional in the first place, and your government, the Bommai government, removed something that was unconstitutional. If that is the case, why did the Supreme Court in the last hearing ask the Bommai government why there was such a pressing hurry to bring this quota? And more importantly, the Supreme Court today has effectively put a stay till the 9th of May on implementation of this quota.
Good evening, Zaka. Look at the issue like this. What has effectively happened? There was this 4% quota under 2B, which was given only for Muslim community on religious lines. And our constitution doesn't permit reservation on religious lines. What I want to drive home the point is, the backward people under the Muslim community are getting reservation under category 1 and category 2A also, which all my Congress friends and JDS friends are confusing the Muslim community by saying reservations are taken off. No. I want to bring on record that the subcaste of Muslims, Pinjara, Nadaf, Ladaf, Kasab, Kaisai, Nalaband, Bajigar, Johari, Fulmali, Chapraband, Darveshi, more than 20 such castes are getting reservation in category 1 and category 2A already. Under the erstwhile category 2B, the whole Muslim community, as the entire religion of Muslims, was getting this unconstitutional reservation of 4%, which has now been taken back. And coming to the point of Supreme Court saying that nothing should be proceeded till 9th, yes, we always respect the Supreme Court decision, because when somebody has filed a case against a particular action of the government and the matter is sub judice, we respect the court decision and we will await.
No, the court also asked in the last hearing what was the pressing hurry. Why would you want to bring this, change this existing quota structure weeks before an election is declared?
Zaka, there's an old saying, just because I was unconsciously wrong yesterday does not mean I should be consciously wrong today. Therefore, the appeasement politics done by the previous governments of Congress and Janata Dal from 1994 onwards, we have now brought that to an end.
Okay.
And ensure that reservation is given to the poor and the needy and the deserving.
Okay, Aishwarya Mahadev, how do you respond to both of these facts that Mr. Prashant and the BJP are saying? Prashant, one second, let me go to the other guest. Mr. Prashant and the BJP are saying that A, this is against the fundamental tenets of the Indian Constitution. Our founding fathers of the Constituent Assembly did not want quotas to be based on religion. So how do you justify that? And two, that poor Muslims are continuing to get quota, the benefits of it under the EWS quota as well as other reservation provisions.
Zaka, good evening. And first of all, I do fear for the job security for the spokesperson, because what he just said is in direct contradiction to what his boss, Mr. Amit Shah, said. And for Mr. Amit Shah, should also check who was the chief minister in power when the Muslim quota, or rather, as they would like to believe, it's this faith-based quota, was even offered. Zaka, a few clarifications. From the Millers Committee of 1921 to the Chinnappa Reddy Committee, the classification to give reservation for Muslims was not based on faith. One, it was based on acute social and educational backwardness, which has been upheld in subsequent reports as well. When the AG and when they tried to mislead the court, Justice Nagratna herself said, you are making lies and this is fallacious, because the fact is the Muslim community was not getting any reservation based on faith. It was based on socio and economic backwardness that has been reiterated in several other reports. Second, Zaka, I'm going to tell you how this is a complete fraud on everybody in Karnataka. This cabinet decision on reservations, none of this will even pass and happen for two reasons. One, you have breached the 50% cap while the center has not allowed you to do so. So your SC/ST reservations will not take hold. Second, for any reclassification of any OBC communities and any categorization, you need three things to be done. Otherwise, this will be void. One, you need empirical data. Two, you need to have a final backward classes commission report. That has not happened. And three, you need a socio-economic census, none of which have been done. None of the actions of the BJP government are actually going to come to fruition. It is mere electioneering, and it is a ploy which is a fraud upon the aspirations of all communities.
No, so
It is
no.
not
If
only on
it is
Muslim
an
minorities,
election
but
ploy,
from
no.
the
Once
SC,
again,
it is
once
the
again,
local
Aishwarya,
result.
once again. Let me ask Aishwarya. If it's an election ploy, as you're saying, then how are you going to respond to it electorally? Because the BJP has thrown the gauntlet at you. They are saying that, look, Congress brings in quotas for Muslims. We take away that quota and we give it to Vokoligas and to Lingayats. We are the only ones who care about the Hindus. Congress only cares about the Muslims.
You know, Zaka, it is so unfortunate that the BJP is so bankrupt and deprived of any issues of development that this is what they've resorted to. The Kannadigas in my state have lived peacefully, and today you've taken 4% from one community and piecemeal divided it to two other communities that were asking you for 15 and 12% respectively. The Congress's response is this: we believe social justice is one of the most important responsibilities of any political party. We're saying remove the 50% cap. We're saying we will have a better socio-economic census to ensure all communities are adequately represented. And we've also asked the central government to take the onus on releasing this census data. The Karnataka Congress stands for social justice for all, not for pluck for one and throw at the other or pull from the other.
No,
and
but
redivide
Aishwarya, you
somebody.
still haven't answered my question. I'll ask Syed Aslam and then
They will
also
never answer
to...
it.
No, one second, sir. One second. I need to go to two other guests. There are 4 guests on this show. So let me go to guest number 3, Mr. Syed Aslam of the JDS. Aishwarya has not answered this question, but I'm going to ask you this. Fundamentally, the problem with the Muslim quota, even as Aishwarya argues, it was not based on religion or faith. It was based on socio-economic backward status. The fundamental problem was that that socio-economic backward status was for people of one faith. That 4%, if you were socially and economically backward but not from the Muslim faith, you were not entitled to that 4% quota. Now, please tell me, Syed Aslam, why that should not be seen legally as a violation of the fundamental tenet of the Constitution that you cannot have quotas based on religion.
Well, Zaka, let me give you a very valid response to the stats. The Sachar Committee report has categorically said the Muslim community, with respect to socio-economic and educational status, is behind the SC community. Let me give you some stats. The youth between the age of 15 to 24. Yeah. Okay. I think.
No, go on. I can hear you.
Are you
Go
able
on,
to
go
hear?
on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, Zaka, let me give you some stats, some empirical evidence as well. Zaka, in the Sachar Committee report, it was categorically told that the Muslim community's economic, socio-economic and educational status is worse than the SC community. Let me give you some stats. Between the age of 15 and 24, the youth who have enrolled in the educational institution is just 39%, versus the youth who have enrolled in the SC community in the educational institutions is 44%. And the OBC community is 51%, versus the upper caste Hindu community is 59%. You can understand the educational status of Muslims. And the second very important thing, Muslims contribute about 13% of this population. The bureaucratic representation in the government is just 2.7%, right? And you know what is our representation in the political arena and so on and so forth. Now, it is not about the Muslim communities being given reservation because they belong to one particular religion. It is about the economic status. It is about the social, economic, and educational status.
Mr. Aslam, So the government's argument. Give me 10 seconds. Government's argument is that if you are socially or economically backward, you're already covered under the 10% EWS quota. You apply in that. One second. Yeah. Syed Aslam, yeah.
Yeah. So, Zaka, I am drawing a very clear comparison based on the social, economic, and educational status.
Yes.
I am telling you this economically, socially, and educationally backward status didn't start from 1994. There are Miller Commission report, which was constituted by then Maharaja of Mysore in 1921. The Muslims were considered as the backward community, and post independence, the first commission then the first commission also, we have multiple commissions which have gone through. We have Havanur commission. We have so many. Based on the Chinnappa Reddy commission, it is not the Congress government which brought in the reservation for Muslims. Based on the Chinnappa Reddy commission in 1994, it is Honorable former Prime Minister Deve Gowdaji. Then he was the Chief Minister. He was the one who brought the reservation for Muslim community.
Okay.
It was
Rash-
looking at their social, economic, and educational status.
Rashid Kidwai, the point is whether this is legally tenable or not. That, of course, we'll leave it to the Supreme Court to decide whether or not the scrapping of the quota and then redistributing that amongst Lingayats and Vokoligas. Ultimately, the legal call on this will be taken by the Supreme Court. What I'm curious to know is this has set the political narrative in the electoral battlefield of Karnataka. Mr. Amit Shah has made it clear, not just in the CNN News 18 interview, but throughout his campaign speeches over the last couple of days, that this is the one big difference between the BJP government and the Congress. The BJP government has cut the quota for Muslims and instead given it to Lingayats and to Vokaligas, whereas the Congress government and other opposition governments were interested only in quotas for Muslims. This is a political narrative. You cannot counter that legally, you have to counter that politically.
Yes, Zaka, indeed, I mean, reservation, the entire politics around reservation is highly politicized. But what was BJP doing for last 3 years since it's been in power since 2020? Why it did not scrap? On the eve of election, they went ahead with this because just in order to politicize it. I personally am against all quotas except for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. But if the Brahmins are getting it, if other castes are getting it, if criteria is economic backwardness, then it's very obvious the Muslims are economically backward. Now, whether they get it into EWS or some other form or other, it is for courts and governments to decide. But what was BJP government doing for past 3 years there when reservations were in force for Muslims?
No, that's a valid point, but please answer, Rashid, as to why, that extra 4% is only for socially and economically backward Muslims. Nobody has a quota for socially and economically backward Christians or socially and economically backward Jains, socially economically backward Hindus. I mean, the point is that why should there be one subcategory for socially and economically backward sections of one community or one faith?
No, but what I'm saying is, what is wrong in it? We know that the Jain community and the Sikh community, and for that matter, Christian community, does not require this kind of reservation. If a Muslim community requires on the grounds of backwardness, economic backwardness, they should be getting it.
No, but that economic backwardness is already there under the EWS quota. That is for all.
Who are you competing with, Zaka?
That's not enough. And as my fellow panelist was saying, this was been going on for last 50, 70 years. Several commissions have said it. And most important point, why, if it was so wrong, why this wrong was allowed to continue for 3 years when the BJP was in power in Karnataka?
Okay, so that J.N. Prashant answer that. I mean, why on the eve of the election you've gone in for this? Even the court asked you this. Even the court asked you, on the eve of election, why have you gone and tinkered with the quota, a system that has been in existence since 1994?
Look, understand the point here. What was unconstitutional has been a method devised to undo the unconstitutional act of the previous government. Now, a question is being raised as to why are we going against the unconstitutional act done by the previous governments? Definitely not. Because we'll go back to history. In 1953, the Backward Commission headed by Kaka Kalekar had also stated that the entire Muslim community cannot be accepted as backward caste because it was only for a backward, they can't accept it as a backward class. You also had the Mandal Commission, which reported to central government in 1982, which identified 82 subsects of Muslims as backward. And such of those things are getting now reservation under category 1 and category 2A, which none of my other panelists are even ready to accept and talk about it. They're only talking about the scrapping of an unconstitutional quota.
No. Mr. Prashant, once again. Mr. Prashant, once again. Whether that was unconstitutional or not, let the Supreme Court decide. But please answer the question. Court is also asking you. You were in power for 3 years. What were you doing?
Look at the wrong that they had done for 30 years. I repeat again what I said in the initial part of the show. Just because we were unconsciously wrong previously does not mean we should be consciously wrong now. So the moment it's on to the ground that it's unconstitutional quota, which only Muslims were enjoying as a community, so especially for 4%, which other communities were not entitled on religion basis, we have taken a decision to scrap it.
But
And given
even
it to
that
the deserving
4%,
other
Mr.
OBC
Prashant,
communities
Mr.
such as
Prashant,
Uttarakhand
even
and
that
Gujarat.
4%, it had to be economically and socially backward Muslims. Rich Muslims were not availing that quota.
No, Zaka, look at it this way. Even in Kerala, where Muslim population is in high
25%,
proportion,
yeah.
Muslim castes such as Kachi Manan, Navayat, Ghora, Sheikh, Syed, Pathan, Mughal, Shia, Sunni, they are not in the OBC list. Only the Mapilla Muslims under the Kerala are classified as OBCs. So therefore, none of our fellow panelists are even talking about it. They're trying to politicize the issue by saying Muslims have been denied reservation, where in fact it is not. They only taken away that portion of reservation which they were not entitled to in the first place based on religion alone.
Aishwarya Mahadev. Aishwarya Mahadev. Again, I just want to underline this. I just want to underline this, that even in that 4% quota for Muslims, you had to provide an income certificate, or you had to provide a caste certificate to show that you were socially and economically backward. Only then could you avail that quota. But Aishwarya Mahadev, again, it comes back to the point that BJP is stressing that if the constitution forbids people from having reservation based on religion, again, what compelling reason can you give for socially and economically backward Jains not getting this reservation, or socially and economically backward Christians not getting this reservation?
One second, Zaka. If you look at the classification of OBCs in my state, you will see that the Jains, Christians, and Parsis are also covered under the OBC communities, or what was previously 3A and 3B, which has now been recategorized.
But there's no separate quota for them. There is no separate quota for them as there was for Muslims.
Part of the same quota. One second, Zaka. Let me complete. The fact now remains, when you talk about why was it religious, we beg to differ when we say it was socio-economic, not religious. Second thing, in the constitution, if you look at through subsequent amendments and judgments, Article 16(4) allows you to have a reasonable classification and reasonable discrimination based on a class of people. And these subsequent amendments, or these subsequent backward classes commission reports basically put these people based as a class of people on socio-economic grounds, and it was not religious. And Prashant has contradicted himself by also bringing in the whole Kerala example here. But also, Zaka, the untenable thing here is that you cannot just arbitrarily reclassify people as EWS, because the people who categorize themselves under EWS are economically weaker only, not socially and educationally backward. So the metric of reclassifying the Muslims under that also will not pass constitutional muster. The Congress, I did not interrupt anybody. All I'm saying is correct. I agree with Mr. Kidwai when he says you sat on the Nagmohan Das report for 3.5 years. You sat on this also. You have an interim backward classes report. And now you're trying to basically on the eve of elections, because you have no other issues of development, try to make it a Hindu versus Muslim battle. And that is so shameful. Sir, if you're Achhe Din, Vikas in Amrit Kal, come here and tell me what Bommai has done, not sell me Prime Minister Modi. Otherwise, declare PM Modi as your CM face. And maybe then things will change. But I believe that this is unnecessary communalization by the Home Minister himself, which is an insult to the people of my state. And we will not stand for it, Zaka.
Okay, Mr. Prashant, quick response. Again, one of the points, I think the court also asked this. So far, no final report of the Backward Classes Commission has been submitted. Only an interim report has been submitted. What was the pressing hurry basis an interim report to reclassify this quota?
Which is untenable.
No, let him respond. Yeah.
You're getting confused. Now, Zaka, none of my panelists are talking about category 1 and 2A. They're getting away to EWS. What is now in fact happened is Muslims continue to get under category 1 and category 2A. And also, they also now automatically get under EWS, but whoever is economically backward under the economically weaker sections of society, Muslims also get included in that basket of people eligible under the EWS. So EWS need not be confused with this. EWS need not be confused with this.
No Muslims will get reservations based on religion. So what
I again reiterate, there is no religious intent behind declaring this country Muslims as backward class. Whoever is economically backward are getting under EWS, socially backward classes are getting under category 1 and category 2A. Congress is only trying to incite some fear in the people's minds, trying to communalize and politicize the issue. And we all know how Congress has played appeasement politics for decades now and what they have done. They're trying to say that they're not into appeasement, but all that they've done is appeasement. In fact, they're anti-Hindu, anti-Dalit, anti-Lingayat. Because at every stage they're trying to ensure that in 2018 polls also, they tried to ensure that the Lingayat Dharma was broken into. They wanted to say that it's a separate religion. So they've always played this anti-Hindu card,
Okay.
especially anti-Dalit and anti-OBC.
let me ask Syed Aslam. Let me ask Syed Aslam. Mr. Prashant is saying that the existing quotas for Muslims under the broader OBCs under Section 1 and Section 2A will continue. What is being taken away is 2B, which was a 4% quota, which was exclusively for Muslims who are socially and educationally backward. When that is already being served under Category 1 and other provisions, then why are you fighting for this separate 4%? Syed Aslam.
Well, Zaka, I need to tell the BJP spokesperson that you are at the epitome of majoritarian polarization, sir. Your Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, speaks about Sabka Saath and Sabka Vikas, whereas in Karnataka, you want to remove the Muslim reservation, and your existing MLA from Shimoga, Ishwarappa, talks about they don't want Muslim votes. Is that called as Sabka Saath and Sabka Vikas? Now, coming back to the point of reservation, Zaka, there are 4 commissions which have happened post-independence, whether it is Nagangowda Commission or Havnur Commission, the Swami Commission and Chinnappa Reddy Commission. All the 4 commissions have categorically said that Muslims are a backward community, socially, economically and educationally. We are saying that based on these commissions...
No, but you can't have such a blanket categorization, Syed Aslam. There are rich Muslims, there are Muslims who are educationally highly qualified. You can't say that the entire community is poor, economically backward and educationally deprived. That's not true.
No, definitely. So they are talking about EWS, sir. EWS is only economically weaker section. There are, to bring in the parity, amongst all communities, to bring in the Muslims to the mainstream, there is a urgent need to bring and uplift them socially, economically, and educationally as well. It is not about reservation. You are not doing any favor to the community, sir. Since the community is backward socially, economically, educationally,
Okay.
it is the right to demand. It is the right to demand. This reservation has been there in Karnataka from 1994.
Rashid, I'll give Rashid the final word. Rashid, I keep coming back to this point. I think the die has been cast in terms of the narrative for this election. Again, what Ishwarappa said, which I believe has been condemned by Yediyurappa, he says that we need the votes of all sections. But I think the die has been cast as far as the BJP and its narrative is concerned, that the BJP is trying to create a unified Hindu vote bank, whether you're Lingayat or Vokaliga or backward class or SC, ST, a unified Hindu vote, taking on what it believes is the opposition parties, Congress and JDS, which are only worried about one vote bank, which is the Muslim vote bank.
Yes, indeed, Saka. I think you have summed it up very aptly. From the day one, it was highly politicized ploy, because the one part was to to give a signal that, the BJP is against giving reservation on the basis of religion. And the second fold was to bring this 4% back to the Lingayats and other communities to reinforce. Remember, the BJP is not on a very strong wicket in Karnataka. So there was entire issue was politicized. It's aimed at electoral politics. Whether they get dividend or not, we'll get to know on May 13th.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Rashid Kidwai, GN Prashant. Sir, I'm completely out of time. Thank you, GN Prashant, Aishwarya Mahadev, and of course, Syed Aslam for joining us here on that big debate. Number 1 here on Brass Tacks. Karnataka, of course, very, 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 very tightly poised between the Congress and the BJP, and whether the JDS will play spoil sport or not. But the other big story today is coming in from Bihar, where the Nitish Kumar government is facing massive backlash for its decision to tweak prison rules, allowing the release of gangster-turned-politician Anand Mohan Singh, who faces life in prison for the murder of a Dalit IAS officer in 1994.
Anand Mohan Singh, the only former member of parliament to be convicted for murder and sentenced to death, is all set to walk free, all thanks to the Bihar government tweaking its prison rules. Anand Mohan Singh was convicted for provoking a mob and killing then Gopalganj district magistrate G. Krishnaiah in 1994. Earlier this month, the Bihar government had removed the clause which had forbidden the remission of jail term for those convicted of murdering a public servant on duty. This led to the release of 27 prisoners, including Anand Mohan Singh.
जो क्रिमिनल होगा उसको अटल जी क्यों जो है साथ बिठाएंगे, लालू जी क्यों साथ बिठाएंगे, नीतीश जी क्यों साथ बिठाएंगे, मोदी जी क्यों साथ बिठाएंगे? समझौता करने आए, समझौता हुआ, हम साथ चुनाव लड़े, 74 आंदोलन की उपज है हम लोग। जेपी आंदोलन से हम स्टार्ट हुए 17 साल से। फ्रीडम फाइटर परिवार है मेरा। ये क्रिमिनल कर सकता है क्या?
G. Krishnaiya's daughter Padma was 4 years old when her father was killed. 29 years later, she says she has been let down by the Bihar government.
Whatever decision the government has taken is kind of like very unfair to us, to the family, and also to the entire nation. That's what I personally feel. This is something that's definitely not expected.
The BJP accused the Nitish Kumar government of taking arbitrary decisions.
See, it is not the question of release of Anand Mohan. Along with Anand Mohan, 27 dreaded criminals who were sent to jail because of murder of the public servant. The decision of Bihar government is unconstitutional, it is arbitrary, it is unnecessary.
Adding fuel to fire, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and his deputy Tejasvi Yadav attended the engagement of Anand Mohan Singh's son, who himself is an RJD MLA.
डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर द्वारा बनाए गए समानता का सिद्धांत, इक्वलिटी का, जिसमें कि हर व्यक्ति को कानून में अपना पक्ष रखने का अधिकार है। सवाल किसी जाति और समूह का नहीं है।
नीतीश जी ने भी कंफर्म किया था कि इस मामले में मैंने आनंद मोहन निर्दोष हैं। उसके बावजूद 14 साल रहे वो, पर जो सवाल उठाया जा रहा है, ये सवाल दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
So is the Bihar government putting politics above justice?
All right, we're getting a piece of breaking news in this connection. The Central IAS Association has now released a statement expressing dismay over the Bihar government's decision to release Anand Mohan Singh. The IAS Association calls it tantamount to denial of justice and undermining public order. The body has urged the Nitish Kumar government to reconsider its decision. It has, of course, led to a huge political backlash as well. People are questioning the need to change the jail and remission rules and the parole rules to enable the early release of Anand Mohan as well as 20-odd other criminals who are serving life sentences. Let me now open this up to our guests who are joining us. Aman Sinha of the BJP, senior lawyer, will be joining us. Dr. Sunil Singh, JDU spokesperson. Naval Kishore, RJD spokesperson, also joining us. Dr. Sunil Singh, what explanation is there? This is a man who directly gave orders to kill a sitting district magistrate, a Dalit district magistrate. There were 10 witnesses who testified against him in court. The trial court, in fact, sentenced him to death. It's later that the High Court then curtailed that to life, and that was upheld by the Supreme Court. Why are you in such a hurry to give him early remission?
We are not in a hurry. Actually, Anand Mohan ji has served his 14-year sentence, and because of amendment in the jail manual which is being needed from time to time, he is being released because his behavior in the jail was good. He was good. So he was being released. The amendment in the jail manual led to the release of 27 other people belonging to, most of them are belonging to even Muslim, Hindu, Forward, OBC, MBC, Dalits and everybody. So there is no allegation proves about the caste bias. So this thing about the jail manual amendment. So jail manual had difference for a public servant and the common man, and the right to equality that we equated any common man with the public servant, and that clause with special treatment.
But sir, the fact is it was not just any common man. The fact is this gentleman asked to shoot at a sitting district magistrate, a Dalit district magistrate, and also, I mean, a representative of the state at the end of the day. You cannot just arbitrarily say that, we're removing the distinction between a common person and that of a government servant. You are shooting, giving orders, and there are 10 people who have testified to this in court, giving orders to kill a representative of the state who is in front of you.
No, but then what he did, he got the life imprisonment and he served for more than 14 years of sentence. He was punished accordingly as per law. And as per law, like there was a special provision for the government servant. I think I'm a doctor. I think anybody needs that protection. So for the right of equality, that the distinction between the common man and a public servant was just lifted.
Naval Kishore is also joining us. Naval Kishore, everybody in Bihar knows
from time to time.
Mr. Anand Mohan Singh. Not just this case, there are numerous other cases against him. He's known as a Bahubali. His wife, lovely Anand, also contested and has been MLA multiple times. She also has multiple cases, not small cases, very, very senior, very, very serious charges, dacoity, kidnapping, murder, etc. against this entire family. And the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister are going for a wedding, an engagement in that family. They are side by side with this criminal who is facing a life term in jail, has come out on parole, and kande pe kande mila rahe ho.
I disagree.
Naval Kishore, thank you. Naval Kishore, thank you. Naval Kishore, please, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Naval Kishore.
Yeah, the wedding about which you are talking or raising a question, it is wedding of a person who is part of a political party. He is MLA from a party, and going to a marriage ceremony is crime. To what extent? How do you conclude that is a crime not to participate in a marriage ceremony?
He is standing. The Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister are standing next to a convicted criminal who is serving a life term. वो हाथ से हाथ मिला रहे हैं, कंधे पे कंधे डाल रहे हैं, मतलब it's like उनके दोस्त हैं.
नहीं, लेकिन वो सजा भुगत चुके हैं और बाहर आए हैं.
नहीं, ये भुगत चुके, ये भुगत नहीं चुके हैं. नहीं, भुगत नहीं चुके हैं. लाइफ टर्म दिया गया है उनको. लाइफ टर्म फॉर हीनस क्राइम्स मींस लाइफ. ये 14 साल नहीं होता. रेप, मर्डर जैसे हीनस क्राइम होते हैं, उसके लिए लाइफ टर्म इज लाइफ. ये तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी क्लैरिफाई कर दिया है.
नहीं, बिल्किस बानो केस में आपका क्या ख्याल है?
नहीं,
माया कुंडानी केस में आपका
बिल्कुल उनके केस में रिमिशन नहीं करना चाहिए था. 100%.
तो यहाँ पे जो रेमिशन हुआ है वो रेमिशन कमीशन है, और जो ग्राउंड दिया गया है उसमें कि द लॉ हैज टू बी इक्वली अप्लाई फॉर एवरीवन, एंड जिस क्राइम के लिए उनको सजा जितनी मिलनी थी वो मिल चुकी है और काट चुके हैं, और वो कमीशन ने डिसीजन लिया है. आप केवल एक व्यक्ति पे, एक पार्टी पे, एक सरकार पे इसी तरह का क्वेश्चन लाके और उन चीजों
नहीं, वो ये सवाल तो जायज है ना नवल किशोर साहब, ये सवाल तो जायज है. इतने हार्ड एंड क्रिमिनल के लिए, और बाकी 25-30 लोग भी हैं जो हार्ड एंड क्रिमिनल्स हैं, उनको रेमिशन देने के लिए जेल मैनुअल की अमेंडमेंट करने की क्या नौबत पड़ी जेडीयू सरकार को?
जेल मैनुअल का अगर कोई उसमें चेंजेस लाया गया है, इट इज बेस्ड ऑन द केस, इट इज नॉट बेस्ड ऑन व्हिच पर्सन इज गोइंग टू बी रिलीज. आपका कहना है कि पहले सर्वे करवाया गया कि इसका फायदा किनको मिलेगा, उसके बाद परिवर्तन किया गया. कितना इस तरह का विचार कहां से लाते हैं?
नहीं, तो आनंद मोहन के लिए नहीं अमेंड किया गया, ये जेल अमेंडमेंट जो किया गया है.
नहीं, आपको ये किसने और कैसे आपको ये पता चला कि किसी व्यक्ति को ध्यान में रख के किसी कानून में परिवर्तन लाया गया?
मेरे सवाल का जवाब तो दे ही नहीं रहे हैं आप. जेल मैनुअल, जेल रूल्स को अमेंड करने की क्या जरूरत पड़ी? ये जो 27 लोग जो रिलीज हुए हैं, सबों को मतलब कोर्ट ने ही दोषी करार पाया है ना?
बिल्कुल करार पाया है, और जो प्रोसेस है रेमिशन का उसको फॉलो किया गया है और उसके आधार पे दिया गया है.
नहीं, प्रोसेस को आपने बदला, प्रोसेस को आपने बदला और उसके बाद आपने रेमिशन दिया है.
प्रोसेस को जो बदला उसका एक आधार था, उस आधार पे बदला गया और बदले गए कानून के तहत जो लोग भी उसके एम्बिट में आते थे उनको रिलीज किया गया.
Aman Sinha is joining us. Aman Sinha, both Sunil Singh of the JDU and Naval Kishore of the RJD are saying the same thing, that if you commit a murder of an ordinary citizen, life term is for 14 years and you are eligible to remission after 14 years provided there is good behavior. On the other hand, if you are accused of murder of a government servant, that is for 20 years. It should be the same whether it is a common citizen or a government servant who is the victim.
Zaka, this was a gruesome murder and lynching of the district magistrate of Gopalganj, and the convicts were handed out death penalty by the trial court as well as the High Court. Later on, Supreme Court commuted it to life imprisonment. Now, let me say that what has been done here is an absolute blatant violation of the CRPC and of the remission rules. Now, the gentleman must, stay quiet for some time. Everybody has heard him. Now, other perspective also needs to come forward. Now, this is in blatant violation to provisions of CRPC. Section 432 of the CRPC mandates that an application has to be moved before the competent court, the trial court, and the trial court has to permit for such a remission, then only a remission can take place. Secondly, Zaka, this was a gruesome murder of an All India Services officer. Section 435 of the CRPC mandates that in all such cases, the consent of the union government is a mandatory requirement. It has to be obtained, which has obviously not been done. Therefore, what has been done is absolutely illegal and against the provisions of law, against CRPC. Not only that, Zaka, I can tell you that there is a remission policy of the union government, and this what has been done here is also in disregard and violation to the national remission policy, because that stipulates that somebody who has been already convicted for death sentence and his sentence is commuted to life, they cannot be considered for remission. Therefore, on all accounts, this is a complete violation and disregard of the provisions of CRPC and the remission policy. Not only that, Zaka, what has been done here is something really astounding, because the rules, the jail remission rules, they have been changed specifically, and we find that the chief minister of that particular state is attending the party of that convict, and simultaneously the jail revision rules are being changed. Can it get more blatant than this?
Okay, so Dr.
Will
Sunil
the public
Singh
servants, public
answer both of
officials
these
who are
points
serving in Bihar,
that Aman
the
Sinha has
general
raised.
public of Bihar, will they have any confidence
Number one, he
in
is
the
saying.
government of Bihar?
Number one, he is saying that this is.
just
One second, Amanji, one second. Let me ask Dr. Sunil Singh. Number one, he is saying that you have to move an application in the trial court. It's the trial court that has to give the go-ahead for the remission. That has not happened in this case. And two, since the victim was a IAS officer, a central government services officer, then a consent has to be obtained from the central government as well. That has also not been done. Please respond, Dr. Sunil Singh.
Yeah, first of all, he said that he was convicted to death from the High Court. No. High Court converted the death sentence to a life imprisonment, which Supreme Court upheld it. And second thing, about the thing is saying that if he is an IAS officer of central cadre, the consent has to be taken. As per my knowledge, he might be a senior lawyer, but I beg to differ. There is no provision as such. It is only a civil servant, and that clause was deleted because time to time the government
Sunil Singh ji, you are an educated, enlightened man. Why do you not read section 435 of CRPC and then come and debate with me? Please go back and read section 435 of CRPC. Have you read it? What does section 435 of CRPC mandate? So without knowing the provision, do not pass your sweeping judgments.
Do you mean to say... do you mean to say that if IAS officer is killed, then the rule is that central government consent is to be taken? As per my knowledge, this is not the case. Since you are a senior lawyer,
I am quoting you the provision. Where do you derive this knowledge from? Sunil Singh ji, what is the source of your knowledge? I am quoting the relevant provision of CRPC. Please go and take out on Google right now and read section 435 of CRPC.
My source of knowledge
what is your source? Please disclose to Zaka and all the people who are listening, all the educated viewers of News 18. Please disclose to them what is this reliable source that you are having.
Right now I don't...
What do you mean by proper time? You do not know what your source is, and I am quoting you the provision of law, specifically section 435 of CRPC. You know you are not the Constitution of India. Please, Dr. Sunil Singh ji, you are a doctor. You should not argue like this, devoid of any facts and law.
10 seconds.
Sir, 1 second.
10 seconds.
Okay, finish your 10 seconds.
Amanji,
okay,
10 seconds.
Yeah.
10 seconds, Amanji. Amanji, 10 seconds.
I am hearing,
What
I am
is your
listening to you
opinion
very
about the release of
patiently,
Bilkis Bano,
Sunil Singh ji.
where the remission board has a BJP leader on board? And then what is your opinion about that? Where there's no CRPC there, there's no IPC there.
Now,
what is it?
Now, although that is not the subject matter of discussion, but let me tell you, Zaka, that was not a case where any remission rules were amended or bent. It was done in consonance and directions to the orders of the Supreme Court, and thereafter it was considered under the existing rules. And here, the rules have been blatantly changed. Not only have they been changed, they have been changed in contravention to the provisions of CRPC, to the union remission policy, and Mr. Sunil Singh, instead of responding as to what is this great source of information that he's having,
I want our viewers to please pay attention. One second, Sunil Singh ji and Aman Sinha ji. I have section 435 of the CRPC open in front of me. It says, and I quote, state government to act after consultation with central government in certain cases where 1. Powers conferred by sections 432 and 433 upon the state government to remit or commute a sentence in any case where the sentence is for an offence which involved the misappropriation or destruction or damage of property belonging to central government. That is section B. Section A is which was investigated by any agency empowered to make investigation into any offence under any central act other than this code. And section C is which was committed by a person in the service of the central government while acting or purporting to act in discharge of his official duty shall not be exercised by the state government except after consultation with the central government. This is section 435.
Absolutely, Zaka. You've read the correct provision.
Zaka, this is not the case. Zaka, this is not the case. What he was saying that if the victim is a central IS officer, the central government consent is to be taken. CRPC, the thing which you have read, Zaka, does not mention this.
Each and every, it is all India services, central government officers are there. In fact, even if a central government property is damaged, then also... Then also this
I'm
provision will
completely
come
out
in.
of time. I'm also getting a piece of breaking news that's coming in, which I need to go to urgently. So thank you very much to all our guests on the Bihar debate. But this piece of breaking news coming in from Karnataka, this is relating to the Karnataka, the 4% Muslim quota. The Karnataka government has now opposed the plea in the Supreme Court challenging the scrapping of the 4% reservation. The Karnataka state government says the plea is not maintainable as the petitioners have directly knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court. The government says the government order was passed after subsequent orders of the High Court and the matter is still pending before the High Court. Karnataka government says reservation on the basis of religion is unconstitutional. This is the response of the Karnataka government. They were supposed to file this and the next hearing was supposed to happen on the 9th of May. Let me go across to Ananya, who has more details on this. So the Karnataka government saying that asking the Supreme Court to dismiss this matter, saying it's not maintainable because they have not approached the right judicial forum.
Well, definitely, Zaka. The Karnataka government has raised various points when it comes to opposing this petition that was filed against the scrapping of 4% OBC quota for Muslims in the state of Karnataka. And now, a very, very big and important pointer that the Karnataka government has highlighted, apart from the maintainability of this whole case, is that the reservation on the basis of religion is unconstitutional. And I read and quote that particular affidavit that has been filed by the Karnataka government through the Solicitor General of India and the Karnataka AG, Mr. Prabhuling Navadgi, is that it is humbly submitted that first text to be determined in whether the state can provide a reservation in public employment and educational institutions solely based on religion. The aim of reservation as envisaged in the Constitution is to promote social justice for providing affirmative action, basically meaning that, the reservation on the basis of religion is something that cannot be permitted by the Constitution of India and could not be granted. And that's the reason why, in fact, this 4% reservation for Muslim community has been scrapped. Apart from that, what has also been stated by the Karnataka government is that the plea is not maintainable in nature because the right forum, which is at this point of time, is the Karnataka High Court, has not been approached of, and already certain petitions are pending before the Karnataka High Court in this particular case.
Okay, Ananya, we'll leave it at that. We'll see how this further plays out. 9th of May is when the next hearing will happen in this case. Meanwhile, on Monday, Prime Minister Modi met top priests of various churches and various denominations in Kerala. It's part of the BJP's effort to try and reach out to the influential Christian community ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Prime Minister Modi met with 7 bishops of various Christian denominations and gave a thumbs up to the interaction. CNN News 18 learns that he also promised protection for all believers and shared his government's push for the Christian community. Christians make up about 18% of the population in Kerala, where the BJP has been trying pretty hard to make some inroads. MP Rajesh is a cabinet minister of the Kerala government. He's the excise minister and a senior leader of the CPIM. He's now joining us. You saw the Prime Minister's program, first in Kochi and then in Thiruvananthapuram. He's been there for the last couple of days and making a big outreach to large sections of the Kerala society, particularly to the Christian community. Basically, he said that this duopoly that's existed in Kerala for a number of years, first the CPM on the one side and the Congress on the other, they have both taken the people of the state for a ride. Therefore, they should give the BJP a chance. What do you have to say on that?
First of all, we are very happy that Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi has rectified a grave mistake committed by him in 2016. In 2016, during the Assembly election campaign, Prime Minister went to the extreme of comparing Kerala to Somalia. Today, he had all the praise for Kerala and Kerala's achievements. So that is an admission that in the last 7 years under the LDF rule, Left Democratic Front rule, even the Prime Minister is not, has not the courage to make that, to repeat that statement which he made in 2016. So that itself is an appreciation to the achievements of the LDF government. Secondly, of course, he has his own political objectives in this visit to Kerala. He tried to appease a section of minority, and he attacked both the left and the Congress. But it's a fact that the people of Kerala is steadfast in their commitment to secular values, and they will continue to reject the communal ideology and politics championed by BJP and Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi.
But Mr. Rajesh, you're also seeing statements from various church heads, including after the meeting yesterday. They're all welcoming the assurances that the Prime Minister has given that attacks on churches will not happen. They're also saying that the concerns of the community, whether it is on economic issues like price of rubber, or whether it is on social issues like girls in the community being lured away by other people, all of these are not being addressed either by the left or by the Congress, and therefore they're looking at a new political avenue in the BJP. What do you have to say about that?
See, some of these leaders, religious leaders, might have given such statements, and I'm not surprised because some of them they might be afraid of investigative agencies. So they are witnessing what is happening throughout the country. Even CBI was sent to Satyapal Malik's house after his statement on Pulwama. Some of these peoples, including religious leaders, have many things to protect. They have their own self-interest. So their statements reflect only those self-interests, but that is not the sentiment of the entire community. The people of Kerala, irrespective of to which religion they belong to, they are very firm on their secular commitments. That is why Kerala has made this much of progress. Okay. Even Prime Minister had to congratulate Kerala for this progress, and this progress and development Kerala achieved only because of its secular fabric and its commitment to secular and progressive values.
Okay, MP Rajesh, we'll leave it at that. We'll see how the story plays out in Kerala and whether the BJP is able to make inroads into a community of minorities where it has not seen too much inroads in over the last many years. That's a wrap. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll catch you again tomorrow night. Good night.
Under category 1 and category 2A also, which all my Congress friends and JDS friends are confusing the Muslim community by saying reservations are taken off. No, I want to bring on record that the subcaste of Muslims, Pinjara, Ladaf, Kasab, Kaisai, Nalaband, Bajigar, Johari, Fulmali, Chapraband, Darveshi, more than 20 such castes are getting reservation in category 1 and category 2A already. Under the erstwhile category 2B, the whole Muslim community, as the entire religion of Muslims, was getting this unconstitutional reservation of 4%, which has now been taken back. And coming to the point of Supreme Court saying that nothing should be proceeded till 9, yes, we always respect the Supreme Court decision, because when somebody has filed a case against a particular action of the government and the matter is sub judice, we respect the court decision and we will await.
No, the court also asked in the last hearing what was the pressing hurry. Why would you want to bring this, change this existing quota structure weeks before an election is declared?
Zaka, there's an old saying, just because I was unconsciously wrong yesterday does not mean I should be consciously wrong today. Therefore, the appeasement politics done by the previous governments of Congress and Janata Dal from 1994 onwards, we have now brought that to an end. And ensure that reservation is given to the poor and the needy and the deserving.
Okay, Aishwarya Mahadev, how do you respond to both of these facts that Mr. Prashant and the BJP are saying? Prashant, one second, let me go to the other guest. Mr. Prashant and the BJP are saying that A, this is against the fundamental tenets of the Indian Constitution. Our founding fathers of the Constituent Assembly did not want quotas to be based on religion. So how do you justify that? And two, that poor Muslims are continuing to get quota, the benefits of it under the EWS quota as well as other reservation provisions.
Zaka, good evening. And first of all, I do fear for the job security for the spokesperson, because what he just said is in direct contradiction to what his boss, Mr. Amit Shah, said. And for Mr. Amit Shah, should also check who was the chief minister in power when the Muslim quota, or rather, as they would like to believe, it's this faith-based quota, was even offered. Zaka, a few clarifications. From the Millers Committee of 1921 to the Chinnappa Reddy Committee, the classification to give reservation for Muslims was not based on faith. One, it was based on acute social and educational backwardness, which has been upheld in subsequent reports as well. When the AG and when they tried to mislead the court, Justice Nagratna herself said, you are making lies and this is fallacious, because the fact is the Muslim community was not getting any reservation based on faith. It was based on socio and economic backwardness that has been reiterated in several other reports. Second, Zaka, I'm going to tell you how this is a complete fraud on everybody in Karnataka. This cabinet decision on reservations, none of this will even pass and happen for two reasons. One, you have breached the 50% cap while the center has not allowed you to do so. So your SC/ST reservations will not take hold. Second, for any reclassification of any OBC communities and any categorization, you need three things to be done. Otherwise, this will be void. One, you need empirical data. Two, you need to have a final backward classes commission report that has not happened. And three, you need a socio-economic census, none of which have been done. None of the actions of the BJP government are actually going to come to fruition. It is mere electioneering, and it is a ploy which is a fraud upon the aspirations of all communities.
No, so no. If it is an election ploy, no. One second. Aishwarya, one second. Let me ask Aishwarya. If it's an election ploy, as you're saying, then how are you going to respond to it electorally? Because the BJP has thrown the gauntlet at you. They are saying that, look, Congress brings in quotas for Muslims. We take away that quota and we give it to Vokoligas and to Lingayats. We are the only ones who care about the Hindus. Congress only cares about the Muslims.
You know, Zaka, it is so unfortunate that the BJP is so bankrupt and deprived of any issues of development that this is what they've resorted to. The Kannadigas in my state have lived peacefully, and today you've taken 4% from one community and piecemeal divided it to two other communities that were asking you for 15 and 12% respectively. The Congress's response is this. We believe social justice is one of the most important responsibilities of any political party. We're saying remove the 50% cap. We're saying we will have a better socio-economic census to ensure all communities are adequately represented. And we've also asked the central government to take the onus on releasing this census data. The Karnataka Congress stands for social justice for all, not for pluck for one and throw at the other or pull from the other.
No, but Aishwarya, you still haven't answered my question. I'll ask Syed Aslam and then also to... No, one second, sir. 1 second. I need to go to two other guests. There are 4 guests on this show. So let me go to guest number 3, Mr. Syed Aslam of the JDS. Aishwarya has not answered this question, but I'm going to ask you this. fundamentally the problem with the Muslim quota, even as Aishwarya argues, it was not based on religion or faith, it was based on socio-economic backward status. The fundamental problem was that that socio-economic backward status was for people of one faith. That 4%, if you were socially and economically backward but not from the Muslim faith, you were not entitled to that 4% quota. Now, please tell me, Syed Aslam, why